Yes, hello, yes. Welcome to another live reality game show podcast, MTV's The Challenge All-Stars 3 review with your good old hosts, Lee and Nathan. And Nathan, how you doing in the 2 weeks we last recorded?
I'm great. It's we took a week off because, like the challenge, they decided not to resolve their elimination duel until this week. But it was two episodes that I thoroughly enjoyed. This season has delivered on the challenges, on the strategy, on the characters. Like, there's been good drama, and it hasn't been too ugly either. Like, it's been fun drama. I've loved most things of the season. Nitpicky here and there, but like even these last few episodes, my heart breaks for the tragedy of Veronica going home right before a final, which we'll get to. But like, she's never ran a modern final, and we were this close from seeing her run a modern final. Like, she could have done it. She could have done it. She could have been there, and now she's not. Might see her. Heard we might see her in the next season of regular challenge, but like, this is. I want to see more of her, and I wanted to see if she could do how she would do in a final situation, because like, we don't see her do a lot of cardio challenges anymore.
No, we don't see her do a lot of cardio, period.
No, and not that that's like the only thing that happens, but
It's a big majority of it, though.
I think for her, there's still a bit of a question mark. I mean, I think she was in better shape this season than she was in her last. What was it? Dirty 30 was her last one.
Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning. Yeah, I think she was in better shape this one than she was in Final Reckoning. And I think there's just an unknown there that I'm very disappointed we didn't get to see play out.
Yeah, I mean, we can pretty much talk about it now because nothing much really happens pre-challenge. The only thing really that mentions is everybody's questioning the stars, and Naya's in remorse of Jordan. But I'd rather not talk about Jordan anymore. Sorry, Naya, but and one random note: pool in the rain. People swimming in a pool when it's raining outside. I find that weird.
Oh, I think it's fine. I mean, you're already wet.
Like, in more ways than one.
Yeah. Okay, but like, I don't think we should brush over the Nia Jordan thing, because this is like a big. This is kind of this is what I love about the challenge. Is like, we get these characters, people, they're real people, but like TV show, they're kind of characters.
They're real people,
because we're seeing the edited version of them, and Nia and Jordan are people who have had a relationship and fracture of relationship over many years that we've been able to see them. And so to see Nia has reconciled with Jordan. I know Jordan is not your favorite person. He's not mine either. But I think it's been a really fruitful to have both of them on this season, and to see where their relationship has come over the years. And I think there's been a really nice resolution. If like, we never see Nia again or Jordan again, like, I feel like their arc in the challenge could be complete and be okay.
Yeah, while I don't care about Jordan, I will talk about Naya because she's actually.
And I think we will see both of them. I think they're killing it this season. Like, Naya's killing it this season. She's super fun to watch, especially these last few episodes. But like, I think it's just been really rewarding to see that over the course of the seasons.
Yeah, it definitely shows like the things a relationship can do over years. Like, they started off hating each other because, well, Jordan was a piece of shit back then, still is now, but they were like hating each other, physically assaulting each other, to now saying that they love each other.
Yeah.
Love really does conquer hate, doesn't it?
It does. And yeah, but this is like the best part of the challenge. This is what makes the challenge a totally
This is
different.
what we're missing from like modern challenges.
Yeah, I mean, this is what makes the challenge totally different than Survivor or Big Brother, that have a new cast every season. I mean, game format aside, this is a show that honors its legacy and its continuity, and the repetition of people. There's new people throughout as well, but like, we get this kind of payoff 5 years down the road. For someone like Mark, it's been 20 years in this kind of thing, but like, but to see these relationships grow, develop, we were able to follow these people and their stories, and how they've grown over basically their entire lives now. I
Yeah,
love
for a
it.
lot of these people.
I think it's something that like the CBS challenge is not going to be able to replicate. It's going to be just a different thing because of that, and I hope that we moving forward in the challenge can keep that aspect to some way in some form, whether it's All Stars continuing. If like regular challenge goes in a different direction, that's its thing. But like I think we need to have it somewhere because I think that's it's a really cool niche in the reality TV world.
Yeah, this is definitely a type of storyline that I really want to see again. It's definitely something we're missing a lot of in modern Survivor. Not modern Survivor. Survivor's on the mind for some reason. Modern Challenge, because Modern Challenge these days it's all about, proving you're better than everyone, proving why you're the best. While with all these people, they know they're the best, and so we actually get to see character development and storylines from them. Yes, I wish it was character development from a better person that probably deserves it more, but it's still character development and it's still something we like to see.
Yeah. Um,
And
look,
Nehemiah is weirdly like not weirdly, but it's like he's definitely these 2 episodes he talks a lot about helping Naya through loving herself.
yeah. Yeah, and I think the thing, even with Jordan, look, you hate on Jordan a lot, and I totally respect your opinion to hate on Jordan all day. He's not my favorite person either, but I also think that like all people are multidimensional, um, and I think that's why Jordan is at least compelling for me as a reality TV character, because as much as he's like a narcissist asshole, um,
Racist,
sexist,
sexist,
racist. Yeah, he's all those things, definitely.
probably
Uh,
homophobic as well.
whatever. And at the same time, he's holding this like intersectionality of like being disabled and advocating for the disabled community and trying to prove something in that respect. And he's outside of the show, he's going to Ukraine and doing humanitarian efforts there. And like I I think we can look at someone like CT, for example, as someone who's like obviously did not have a great start to the challenge. Like I hated CT probably for the first 20 seasons of the challenge, whatever, for a long time. Like I was like, why are they bringing this guy back? He's just more trouble than he's worth. And we could say that about Jordan. And yet the season, like Jordan was fine, and maybe he's growing. And I think that happened with CT. We're seeing I think we're seeing it with Jordan. I keep bringing up comparing Jordan to CT over the course of the season because I think Jordan, whether intentional or not, maybe he's trying to get there. I think it's career-wise, it'd be smart for him to try to replicate CT's trajectory. But I think there's multiple dimensions of Jordan, and I'm still, and I think the Naya side of this is one that softens him a lot. She found reconciliation with him, where maybe she does not have reason to, but maybe she does. Like we're not there. We're not like in real life with them. And so I'm open-minded to see him again and to see Naya again. And I'm happy to see that they've, mended things up.
And well, if Jordan's getting a second chance after all he said, then other people should as well.
Yes, I think so.
Yes. So time to uncancel Dee and bring her back.
Yeah, and I think let's give people some time. Give people some time, and then bring them back and check on them, and see if they're like spewing crap all over their social media, still be like, okay, maybe not today. There's a reason that there's certain Survivor contestants that will never be asked back because they might be in prison.
I had to think like, which Survivor contestants are coming back?
Yeah. They might be in prison, or they, like shot a dog with a crossbow. Things that we probably just need to retire you from the public sphere. Wasn't that Brian Heidick?
Oh, I thought he just didn't come back because he was a terrible person.
No, he shot his dog with a crossbow, or a dog. I'm pretty sure this is real. I don't think I'm making this up.
More reason to hate Thailand. The season, not the country.
Yeah, and I just did a rewatch of Thailand. I don't know
I'm
why.
so sorry.
It honestly was a drag to get through. I think I skipped two of the late merge episodes, the Pagong, but
Only watch for till Cheyenne gets voted off and then stop watching.
yeah, look, there's redeemable moments and qualities. I think it's one of the least strategic seasons of Survivor ever, though.
I mean,
Even,
it's old
even
school
coming after,
Survivor.
no, because Africa's strategic, Marquesas is strategic, and there is just not strategy happening in Thailand. Like it just doesn't happen, and they don't have an excuse because they saw Africa. At least they saw Africa. Um, no,
Yes.
but I think he did. I'm gonna look this up real
Let's
quick.
not get into this.
Uh,
The challenge! Speaking of which, the
he
actual challenge.
totally did it. Okay, challenge. Okay, so after
Challenge.
they get straight to the challenge, and Veronica's hurt her foot. She is cursed by a podiatry specialist because in the trivia challenge the previous week, she spelled podiatry, or she answered a question
It was
about podiatry.
answered like, what is a doctor that specializes in feet? Podiatrist. It's
Yeah.
not even her foot, it's a toe.
Yeah, and she broke it because she was walking downstairs, rushing downstairs to get to pizza, which is like respect. Like Veronica knows her priorities. I'm here for that too. I would hurt myself in the same way. I relate to her
I
so
have
much.
hurt myself in the same way.
Like, yeah, you could do all these crazy stunts. You can jump out of buildings. But yeah, just running down the stairs to get pizza, that can be just as dangerous.
Yes. And I feel so bad for Veronica because, like, I remember one time, I think it was Vendetta, she was eliminated because she broke her finger. Like,
Mm,
a finger, and now she's going home because she broke a toe.
it really sucks because, like, she really could not do a final on that toe, but
Just,
it really is sad.
just pull a Cinderella moment and just chop off the toe
I
so that
mean,
it can fit in the glass slipper.
eesh, eesh.
So yeah, Veronica's gone.
Do we want
Cleared.
to? What did you think of her arc this season?
I think her arc this season. I don't really think she had one. Not in like, oh, she was there in the background and didn't do anything. I think it was just like Veronica being Veronica.
Hmm.
She was just doing her thing, competing in challenges, doing terrible in most of them, being hilarious, and going home because of a small injury.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of felt like it was a return to classic Veronica in a lot of ways. Um,
Yeah,
she,
definitely that, because we haven't seen her since Final Reckoning, and even then we barely saw her on that.
yeah, and I feel like for this one, the whole treehouse thing was very reminiscent of like early Veronica seasons, like being one of the it girls, like in the penthouse, like that was her thing, and she was totally like bringing that back, into a modern season, and I enjoyed that. She had her one shining moment where she
With
won
trivia.
trivia and made a move against Donna that didn't pan out, but like she's willing to make those moves, and she showed it again. She shows that she's here to compete. She doesn't often get like control of the game by winning challenges. She's never really been that person. She gets her moment though to change the course of a game, and she seizes the moment. She's very opportunistic, and I think we saw that she still has all of that mindset and skill set, and I've so much enjoyed having her back.
Yeah, I think when I say modern Veronica, I mean like when she came back in like 30-30 and all that. Modern Veronica knows that she does not win. She will not win a lot of challenges. So what she does is when she does win, she makes the most of it.
Yeah, and
Like
I think she came into All Stars. I don't think she
kind
went into Final Reckoning thinking she was gonna win. Like
no,
she wasn't even she was there because she was gonna have a good time and do her thing. But like this one, I think she like wanted to. I think she was hungry for this one. Like it's All
you can
Stars. It's an
tell.
older crowd. It's even more even playing field.
You can tell by her reaction to me, and that was like so mean to make her like go all the way up to the challenge and then just tell her, Veronica, you're going home, because you knew right then that's when she found out. It wasn't like
Yeah,
she was told by producers or like at the house. It was just like right there and then, sorry girl, you're going home. Like, no.
it so sucks. And to this day, Veronica, I think, is the only challenge competitor I follow on Twitter to this point.
I think I
But
follow a few.
I haven't. I'm very selective about my Twitter feed. So, but Veronica's tweets, she gets my follow.
Yeah, I follow a couple of people. Usually just I'm also very selective who I follow. I only follow those I like.
Yeah, yeah. So Kayla is now the last person in the treehouse, lone
Yeah, who
survivor.
was? Yeah, the person who. Would you say she came up with the treehouse?
Oh no, she didn't come up with it. I think I would say like Jemmy, and it was like a Jemmy and Tina thing, primarily.
Oh, back when they were still in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like that's Jemmy's like move, is to gaggle some people together. Like, she's very good at that, and so I fully put that on Jemmy. I don't know if we saw that enough, but I I would bet money on it.
Yeah, so she's the last member of Treehouse. To think that the alliance that had the most power is now just whittled down to one.
Yeah, and it all comes down to luck, and the switch in the format in the second half of the game does not protect you. When the
Yeah, I think
alliance
that
alliance
format
doesn't
definitely
protect you.
helped. The
Yeah,
format definitely helped be like, okay, we're not having one alliance control the entire game. We're
yeah.
switching it up.
So why can't regular challenge take that cue? I think All Stars did this super well this season, because like, yes, we want our favorites to like be around for a minute. We don't want to not see them at all. And they're generally going to link up together. Like, that's kind of challenge thing. Like, it's always going to be against rookies to some degree. So yeah, why not work it against the big alliances at least partway into the season? Just don't do a double agents all the way. you know, um, to even where you're in the final 10, 12 people and you're still targeting rookies. Like, this did not happen here, and I'm thrilled. And now we have a final of four very strong competitors, who all took different paths and who are all like deserve to be there.
Yeah,
Four,
all
four, four
different
women,
sides.
four women. I'm talking about.
Yeah, the women. We don't. The men are never that interesting. It's always the women we care about.
Well, yeah, and this, Veronica's elimination finalizes who's in the finals for the women. So,
Well, yeah, we find that out in the next episode.
yeah,
We'll
spoiler.
talk about.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I definitely think modern. I was about to say Modern Survivor again. Jesus, why do I have Survivor on the mind? Modern Challenge. They need to pull like the reason why the duel is like a good season to a lot of people is that okay, you're sending me into elimination, well, you're coming in against with me. Like
Hmm.
the whole like call out, put your money where your mouth is type thing. If they just bring that into modern challenges, then I think that would definitely bump up the season a lot and get rid of this stupid alliances that Big Brother always tends to create. Because it's always the Big Brother people that ruin the seasons. Stop casting them.
Just cast better Big Brother people. There are Big Brother
Yeah,
people who I enjoy watching, but they don't cast the right ones.
yeah. I think ever since they cast, I want to say War of the Worlds is when they dropped in their Big Brother casting.
Hmm.
Because that's
Yeah,
when like all the good Big Brother players stopped coming back on the challenge and they started bringing on the shit ones.
yeah. There are so
And
many people.
did they fix that in CBS? The challenge. Half of them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate all of the options there.
Yes, I don't hate all of them. I only dislike a few.
I mean, you have the entire Cookout Alliance there, basically, except hilariously Derek F.
Well, nobody cares about that one. And
Yeah,
Hannah.
but honestly, it's funnier that way.
And Hannah. Don't forget about
Oh,
Hannah.
and Hannah. Okay, but Hannah can totally come back later. She's busy with
Yeah,
school. She's being a doctor.
I thought she was a fashion major. Oh wait, no, that's what she told people she was, but she's actually a
No,
doctor major.
yeah.
I believed her lie. Wow, she should have won.
Uh,
So the
yeah.
challenge. Let's actually talk about the challenge, and
Yes,
we're
yes,
like
yes.
20 minutes in it.
I know, but
So
this is good stuff. This is meaty stuff. Meaty. Okay, the
yeah,
challenge is fun.
a
Okay,
memory. Yeah, it's hang out of the helicopter, memorize colors, swim to a platform, put out the memory.
yeah.
Pretty simple.
And so there's
Uh,
an extra stake because Veronica's eliminated. Veronica had a
her star
star,
is up for grabs.
so whoever wins in the women's side gets Veronica's star.
Yeah, and no, she only has one. I was like, did she have two?
No,
Because she
she
was in elimination,
never
but that
went to
elimination
elimination.
was canceled. She was vote. She went into an elimination, went in because she came last, but then that was canceled because Jemmy and Tina went home,
Yeah.
and then Beth came in as a replacement. Just to remind everybody, Beth.
But what a shit show a wonderful shit show on the woman's side of things. Like it's
Yeah, literally. The women are always much more entertaining than the men. That's why I usually root for them in every reality show I watch.
but there was a huge amount of medevacs this season. Like there was Veronica, there was
Veronica, Tina,
Tina,
Melinda,
and Melinda, and then Jemmy
yeah,
had to leave for a family emergency.
for family medical reasons.
Yeah, so like 4 women who are all like really fun to watch, like really big characters, like end up leaving for circumstances outside the game, and that's a huge amount of the cast.
Well, Melinda's it was because of the game, but it was because of last season's game.
Yeah, but like that's not. Yeah. So
So
yeah, this is a
memory challenge.
memory stunting. Stunt jumping out of a helicopter, swimming.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of memorization, a little bit of timing.
a little bit
Classic
physical.
challenge. Pretty
Yeah,
classic.
we all know Gigi gets hard on for helicopters.
I mean, come on, it's kind of fun to watch people jump out of helicopters, though.
And it is it's fun watching them. I mean, Kellyanne loves it. It's like she jumps out of the plane. It's like I want this to be my career.
They do all those slow-mo shots, like that. The challenge producers love the helicopter shots because that's how they promote the whole season. It's like this one challenge. I feel like I've seen it advertised over and over again.
Yeah, and it does not appear to like the very end.
Yeah.
So they don't. Yeah, Kellyanne loves jumping in. Kayla's not good at memory. John A has to swim extremely far.
Yeah, she dropped really far because you can kind of time when you jump, and she dropped really far from her puzzle and had to swim a long way and lost some time there. So
And
hey,
then,
before I get too far, so they ended up pairing in each of the heats. They ended up pairing a guy and a man and a woman.
yeah,
I kind of wish they did same gender pairs.
I think they want to just keep it a mystery, being like,
I
"Ooh,
know, but like
anyone
I
can
feel like it
win."
makes it more that there's no suspense in each heat itself. It's like, okay, they're doing it. Like at least when it's like a face off and like one of them isn't gonna win based off of that heat. Like at least there's suspense then. And then you have the suspense of who did better between the two heats. So I feel like put the two women together and two women together, and at least then each heat
It
would
was
be.
odd. It was an odd number of people because it was 5 guys, 5 girls. So it would have been 2, 2, and then 1 guy, 1
Yeah,
girl.
but like I just feel like this was the least suspenseful way to do it.
I think it just made sense with the numbers. If it was like 4 and 4, then yeah, do it 2 guys, 2 girls. But I think since it was an odd number,
I mean, it's the same. It's the same in terms of end result anyway. It's in terms of viewing experience. I think it's more fun to see how they're doing against each other, and because I don't have a gauge in terms of like how fast Kayla is a swimmer versus Jeanne. I don't have a gauge of that. I don't have a gauge of who
I
actually
also
did
think
better.
I think they used the moments to be like, I'm doing this for insert reason here why I want to win.
Yeah, I don't care about those.
Which is pretty much every second confessional in these 2 episodes.
As a viewing audience, I want to be able to, as best as I can. And sometimes these challenges it's hard to see, but exactly how the challenge progresses and how people are matching up with each other. But I want to see people matching up. I want to be able to see with my own eyes, like how Naya does against Janae, does against Kayla. And I don't feel like I could get that as well.
Well, speaking of Naya, great transition into that. We get to her in Brad's heat, and she is terrified. She is a flight attendant, but in private jets, so she doesn't necessarily hang out of them to jump into the sea, ocean, lake, river thing. So she's terrified. Everybody's trying to coax her through it. She doesn't have her rock to help her, and she just doesn't do the challenge.
Yeah, and Brad tries to comfort her, encourage her, before the helicopter takes off. He's like, just go for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Guys on the helicopter telling her that she can do it.
And jumping out of a helicopter is not the same as flying on a plane. When you're on a plane inside, you don't have a sense of the heights. That's
You're not jumping out the plane.
Yeah. Like I've gone skydiving before, and I can tell you once
why?
I got up high, My legs just didn't work anymore. It wasn't whether I wanted to get out of the plane. Like my legs just stopped working, and they ended up kind of pushing me out. But like, you don't always like. Sometimes the fear is not a conscious thing. It's often not a conscious thing. It's just like this is just my survival instincts kicking in.
Yeah, skydiving is one of the things I will never do. Never.
Oh,
I'll never jump out
I
of
would
a
do it
plane.
again. Consciously, I
No,
would do it again. My legs will probably still become jello once it's time to leave the plane.
yeah, I don't even like looking out of a hotel window that's like a little too high. So jumping out of a plane, no. I don't even like jumping off like a high object.
uh,
Ugh, even thinking about it just gives me chills.
but so I don't blame her. You know, it's a thing. Your body doesn't always
Yeah,
listen.
it's a natural fear emotion. People
Okay,
freeze up.
did Brad call himself Captain Beardo?
Yes. Ugh.
I hate that.
Hate it. Shave the beard.
I hate the beard. I hate the beard so much. Like Brad is like an attractive guy. Like overall, like he's
He's
attractive enough.
attractive without it.
Yeah. The beard is like, you know, what's the trend right now? He's a 7. He's an 8, but he has a beard. So he's a 2. He's a crap beard. He's like 2.
Yeah.
He's a 1. I don't know.
It just does not look good.
He's very caveman. I'm not a fan of beard, Brad. Sorry.
No, yeah, shave it, please. It looks too much like. Do you remember Paul from Big Brother? And his
Yeah.
horrible beard. No,
Yeah,
it's just
hate that too.
Shave it and get rid of it.
Not about the Duck Dynasty beards.
Ugh. Yeah. Looks like every old. Yeah. I don't care if you're chinless or chinful. It's better than whatever you got going on there.
And then he gets a bunch wrong, because Brad is not smart.
No, he is not. He's the definition of a dumb jock.
It's a 3x3
puzzle.
Like you only have to remember 9 squares, 9 colors. It's not that much memorization. Like it's really not. Like
but on top of a plane.
Yeah, but don't jump until you're ready. You know, they can stay up there as long as they need to memorize it.
I can have a certain amount.
And this challenge, it doesn't come down to who's the fastest. It comes down firstly to who is the most correct, and then who is the fastest of that. So it does yourself no service to get any of the colors wrong by rushing.
Yeah, well, we all know Brad doesn't think before he acts. We all remember last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Nehemiah goes last, goes on his own, and we get a touching Austin bro moment.
Yeah, now Nehemiah's trying to win challenges, apparently.
Yeah, he's been laying low, been looking like I'm doing good, but not good enough to win because that puts targets on your back.
Do you believe this, or do you just think he's sucked and trying to like save face in confessionals?
I mean, he's never done terrible in any challenges. He didn't like he comes in last place. He always comes like very middle.
No, but this is like the most stacked men's challenge cast maybe ever.
Oh,
like just
yeah,
pound
definitely.
pound for pound.
Yeah, they're all huge.
Yeah, like when Tyler Duckworth is like your weak link.
Bring back
any
Tyler.
other season of the challenge, like Tyler's like a winning contender.
Yeah, but this time he's doing things because he's what? Gay.
Oh no, it's just like
yeah, I know
it's just the
joke.
most stacked cast. No, look, Tyrion's really the weak link. Let's be real. But
well, he went home second, so
yeah, it's been a really good season, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just been great.
I haven't had like people to hate on this whole time. It's been really refreshing.
Wonder what that's like.
Yeah. Hey, your person's gone at least too.
Yeah,
okay.
I just feel like whatever what show I watch, the person I least like is always there for a while. They never go home first.
Yeah, generally not. So the results: Mark and Derek are the only 2 men to get it right.
And Mark wins. Yay, Mark.
Yeah, Derek though he's showing he can do a mental thing here or there.
He's not as dumb as everybody thinks and knows he is.
He's kind of redeemed himself. I mean, they haven't been like the hardest puzzles and things that he's done this season, but he's done a few things that he's like well. So good on
Yeah,
him.
he memorized colors and did a maze.
And trivia.
Yay! And
Like
trivia.
everything he's done well at has basically been intelligence competitions.
Yeah, maybe he should have a career change.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's so weird because like when I think of what Derek's strengths are, like it's definitely on the more physical side, not on the mental side of things.
No.
Like he's somebody who will keep going, he will push through the grit, um, and I expect that's where Derek shines, and instead he's been shining the smarts this season. So good on
Yeah.
Derek. It's
He's
kind of
always a
fun.
guy that doesn't seem like he knows what 7 times 8 is.
No, I wouldn't put most of these men to like win Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? But yeah,
Maybe West, but
so yeah, Mark
really,
won. He's on a roll.
yeah.
Mark's doing really well this season.
Yeah, he's like here to play actually, not just to be everybody's friend.
Because he didn't do this well his first season of All Stars. Like I feel like his first season he was there and he got to the end, but he didn't like shine. Like, I feel like he's shining this season. I think he had like one win, one memorable win at least. But this season,
This
I feel like
season,
he's doing really well in
yeah,
the
like
challenges.
is that like his second or third win at this point?
Yeah.
And then the girls, TJ does the shadiest thing. He tells Kellyanne she was the fastest, but she got it wrong, so John A wins. Why do
Yeah.
that to the poor
Shady.
girl?
So shady. But Jeanne wins. This is Jeanne coming in clutch. If she didn't win here, she was definitely going to be an elimination.
Yeah, probably.
I don't see anyone else, Kellyanne, Naya, or Kayla, not either picking her or pulling her in.
Yeah, definitely, because it's John A, the most recent champion.
Yeah. You don't, this is your last chance to get rid of her. Like, and granted, there's no elimination, but like, we don't
To
know
their
that yet.
knowledge,
We don't know
yeah.
that yet. So, and she gets Veronica Star there and has the most stars.
Yeah,
So,
she now has 5.
yeah.
We now get to free house things. All the girls are pretty much telling John A, hey, put me in.
Yeah, weird. Naya wants to go into elimination like out of shame for not competing, which is like this late in the game. No, like if Katie can do it over and over again and still, be left alone, don't.
Down.
Honor has no place in the challenge.
Honor does not exist. It's just a figment of people's imagination that they think is real to make themselves feel better for doing bad things.
Yeah, Naya, don't go in elimination just because you didn't jump out of a helicopter.
Yeah, and then Kellyanne says she wants to go in because like she gets nervous when Naya says it, and then Kayla wants to go in to pick Kellyanne so she can be mentally prepared. It's just so weird. Johnny has it so easy.
Yeah, she would be able to do it and not have anyone upset her. And
Yeah, she's like, the difficult decision is who do I give the wish to?
and they're at the point where stars seem to matter.
Yes, and Naya's the only one with a star because she was the only one in an elimination other than Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kayla and Kellyanne, they did very good at avoiding those eliminations.
Yeah, and so winning this elimination means that like you could potentially, because they didn't know what the stars are for yet. Like you could have the second most stars. Like they're not catching up to John A, but you got the second most.
Yeah, second most could get something. Second place always gets a win.
Yeah, or an advantage. Second advantage.
Yeah, second advantage. You get a 1 second head start.
And then there's Mark's decision.
Yeah, so Wes is kind of just overplaying the nice guy, and it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna be myself now and just be a dick to everyone. I laugh that he straight up says to Brad and Nehemiah, I'm gonna throw myself in elimination and beat y'all in the final.
Yeah, for
He
some
knows,
reason,
he knows Mario Kart.
Wes always words things as though he has the decision to make. He does not have the power to make the decision, though. It's Mark's decision. And I think it would work better socially and strategically if he didn't if he was more subtle about his intentions. But he's so blatant about it. Like then Mark's obviously gonna circumvent that. Like if Wes was subtle, I think it'd be better. But Wes doesn't do subtle.
No, Wes doesn't do subtle. Wes does in your face and obvious.
Yeah. Um,
I love how you compared it. Like, I know Mario Kart. I know how to throw the shells and place the bananas.
so Wes wants to go against Derek so he can get all of Derek's stars and have the most stars. So, get whatever advantage that brings.
Yeah, and then Mark is like, I don't want that to happen. Derek, why don't I throw you in to give you more power? Because Derek's the main target since he has the most stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it seems like either Nehemiah or Wes will pick Derek anyway. So even though Derek is Mark's ally, if Derek's going to end up in elimination anyway with either like the less close allies, Nehemiah or Wes, giving Derek the choice, once he sees what the elimination is kind of the more sound strategic decision there.
Yeah. And Brad gets off scot-free for probably having the most daily wins of anyone in the...
Derek and Brad are in Mark's inner circle. So, we knew this from early on. It's part of the reasons why I was worried about Wes's placement with this is because it's like this point in the game, Wes is expendable now. And that so he knows it. So he goes and plays his trump card. Makes a phone call.
Interesting wordplay. He decides to call the only person with the mental capacity to equal his own in the challenge, and he calls the face of the challenge, the king of the show, Johnny frickin' Bananas.
Johnny Bananas getting a cameo appearance here on a phone call with Wes of all people. Okay, Bananas' sound quality was trash, though. I don't know, like, what he was.
I think he recorded it on his phone, maybe?
Yeah, but like it was terrible sound quality. It's like you couldn't like test this out beforehand or something if you know this is going to be recorded. Just do a quick sound check.
He knew it was going to happen. And it pretty much accomplished nothing. Like, we didn't really get anything out of it besides Bananas showing us a lot.
Yeah, I guess their relationship is not strange. It's not strange so much as like there's mutual respect between the two.
They're friends now.
Yeah. I mean, if they're ever on a challenge, like they would probably gun for each other at some point, but not initially.
They might just do
that
like
respect.
I think Total Madness. They're now like,
because they saw what happened when they did that, and when they gunned for each other immediately, then they both lost.
So then now they work together and they made it far.
Yeah, so we might have to see how that goes in the future challenge season.
Yeah,
it felt like a little bit of a preview.
Potentially, and maybe Bananas will wear pants.
Yeah, please. Ugh, gross. Remind about like straight men.
I mean, we've seen it already.
I know.
It's
and all of the briefs, red briefs in the crown. Johnny Bananas was hamming things up in the most obnoxious way, and of course they settled on the only sound strategic decision, which is for Wes to try to get himself in there, because duh. If you know the stars are coming into play, risk it for the biscuit. Although, when we get the stars thing, is it too far ahead to say, is it worth it? Now that we know what the stars are for?
Is it? I mean, any advantage in the final is always a good thing to have.
Even risking losing before this final for the stars advantage.
If you don't have the most and you're going to have the least anyway, what's the point? But not knowing the advantage, I say people risk it. It's like, if I'm not going in with the most stars, then what's the point of me going into the final with a star?
I think with the amount of points that we've already seen in the final, knowing that there's a whole episode left to go of the final, I don't think it was a good decision to try to go in. We've seen, and we'll get into it when we talk about the final, but I think the placements fluctuated quite a lot, and the playing field evened out after a couple rounds, where I don't really think that the 5 points that you get to as an advantage is worth risking going home right beforehand.
Maybe not so, knowing what the final is, but not knowing, you can
And
understand
they don't,
it.
yeah, they don't know. But now I'm like, retrospectively, I don't think it was actually a good decision to get in the elimination. You'd be better
Yeah.
off not going in at all for this one. But
Yep.
you don't
Feel
know.
bad. And so we get to the elimination. Well, Authority, Johnny and Mark pick Kayla and Derek. And we get to the elimination and we see a poll.
Pole
And
wrestle.
everybody gets excited. No, it's not pole wrestle. It's pole
Basically.
wrestle. Yeah. Everybody gets excited for a pole. That's not stripper pole, but okay. So Kayla picks Kellyanne, obviously, because they've only been rivals for the entire season.
And better size matchup. Let's be
Yeah,
real. Like Naya's giant, and
yeah,
she's a
Naya's up
giant.
there. Hi, Naya. The reason she's scared of heights is because she's been living in them all her life.
Yeah, like that. This any pole wrestle competition, so much comes down to size.
Yeah. And then Derek, who has been in a pole wrestle against one of these people and lost, he decides to go for the quote unquote easy option and pick Nehemiah, they have this weird rivalry out of nowhere since All Stars 1, and now it's finally being put to the test.
Yeah. This is a chance for Derek to redeem himself by taking on Wes again. If Derek's getting the decision to choose Wes or Nehemiah, basically, and he's been talking mad crap over the years that if he ever got a chance again, he could take on Wes and take him down. And so that, Derek says he's out for blood, but he ends up not picking Wes to go against and picks Nehemiah instead.
Because it's for his family, which, okay, I know it's all very important and these people are like great and all, but when you hear it for like the umpteenth time, we get it.
Yeah. They all have families and they're all playing for them. Okay.
Yeah, cool. You all have families, you all have kids, you're all getting married.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this decision. So obviously this
I think he was going to lose no matter who he picked.
Between the two, when he said Nehemiah, I was like, why? This is a size thing. Derek's already the smallest of those three guys. He's the smallest out of all the 5 remaining guys.
I think he was like the smallest in the whole cast.
He's like 5'7", 5'6", 5'8", maybe.
He's short.
He's very short. And he's not like bulky. Like he's muscular, but he's not bulky.
Yeah, he's not like Mark level.
No. And so I was like, Wes at least is smaller bulk-wise than Nehemiah. Like Nehemiah is huge. Like he's a huge dude.
Yeah,
he's got to weigh 220 at least. Like I'd be shocked if Derek breaks 180.
Yeah, Wes is definitely more lean than the other guys.
Yeah, so I feel like just size alone, even knowing the history, like Wes is a more fair matchup in this particular challenge.
Yeah, and I think Mark said it best. Yeah, Wes beat Derek in this challenge, but that was 15 years ago, and they have both changed in 15 years.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I still think he would have lost either way.
Maybe. I think I probably like I feel like pole wrestle is one of those that's usually more predictable in general.
Yeah.
Like
it's like a fun, quick elimination.
Yeah, but it so often comes down to just who's the bigger person, and it's unfortunate that this is what Derek faced in his final round.
Well, actually, he didn't face pole wrestle. He faced Light My Fire.
Yes, they have to wrestle the pole and get it to a cauldron. So it's not just getting the pole out of the grasp; it's also getting your person across the arena.
Yeah, and we all know TJ has like a hard on for fire. Like he loves adding fire in eliminations for no reason.
Yeah, it didn't end up playing out in a way that was different than pole wrestle, but I think in the future it could, in different
Eventually,
circumstances, if they brought
yeah,
this rendition of it back.
yeah. If they brought it back something similar. So Nehemiah wins, and now Derek is 0 for 2 going against Real World Austin guys in pole wrestle. Maybe he'll beat
Yeah,
Danny.
I'm a little disappointed too because I feel like Veronica, Derek has not really had a chance to shine in these finals. Um, he bombed the rowing in All Stars 1.
Yeah,
But like when Derek gets to a cardio element, I think he would be fine and he'd be strong and he'd be a contender in the final. And so I just feel like we've missed out on seeing what he could do if he could actually get there. Um, I don't know. Do you think that Derek could win a final?
yeah. I definitely think he can win a final. It's just whether he can get there is the issue. Plus all the mental capacities if he's be able to do those on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're partnered things, he might get through them, but if it's on his own, it will be a struggle. But I mean, he's won finals, but they've all been team
They
finals.
were all team finals. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Um,
just really depends. And then, well, the episode cut, and then we see the male elimination, and then we get to the female elimination. Kayla versus Kellyanne. They've been setting this up the whole season. They're getting ready. And then TJ's just like, okay, stand up. Veronica went home. You two are safe. Congratulations. And they're both pissed.
because they want to tear each other's faces off, of
Yeah,
course.
they're like, no, don't cancel this elimination. Let us kill each other.
Such a fake out.
Yeah, again, like, what is with TJ like shading these girls? Like Kellyanne, like first we gave you hope that you're gonna win, and then we said no, sorry, you did it wrong, and then we are given hope for you to kill Kayla. Nope, sorry, it's canceled.
Yep. And then he throws a surprise challenge on everyone.
Yeah,
He pulls
challenge
everyone
right
down to the
away.
arena, and they're going to do a quick little challenge right there.
Yeah, and it's a memory challenge, so you know Kayla's crying.
Yeah, so this was very Big Brother esque.
Oh,
So
very.
we don't know what the challenge is for yet.
Yes, we just know don't come in
Just
last.
don't come in last. And it's you have to recall photos from a photo memory wall in the house that were pictures of all the casts in all their different finales. They're running the finals.
Yeah,
Um,
including Beth apparently.
yeah, so who knows? I don't was Beth in there?
I saw her name in
Okay,
the on the plates.
yeah. It was very Big Brother esque though that like these people should have been memorizing the pictures while they were in the house. Um, I'm fine with it though. Like
Yeah, it's a fun challenge. It's like a quick memory one.
we see Wes just destroy this. Like he must have spent a lot of time memorizing it.
Yeah, do your homework, children. And
Which
then one
smart
day
on Wes
you'll
to
be.
think that could be a part of a challenge.
Yeah, Wes is always prepared. Like, yeah, we'll quickly get into it when we get to that. And big thing from this one is, oh yeah, Wes is tired of pretending to be nice and being mediocre. And
Mm-hmm.
then out of the guys, Brad comes last. And then on the girl side, everybody is struggling. John A comes first.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kayla, she's wandering around, not the best at memory. She gets second place, and Naya comes in last and says Kayla cheated by looking at her board. Now, Kayla did not cheat. In my opinion, she did not cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the rules did it say you're not allowed to look at another person's board?
Yeah, look, I've been in this situation when I've played live reality games, where I'm in a puzzle challenge and someone else solves it, and I in the second place matters, and you bet your ass I peeked my face over there to get part of the solution. There's nothing too sacred about cheating off of someone else's work when you're in a challenge. Like this isn't about honor and integrity; it's about getting the thing done the fastest. However, that technique is solving the puzzle from your intellect, yeah, you can get that done first. But maybe being a
Yeah.
little savvy, being a little thrifty with your mind. I don't think there's anything wrong with peeking. Just
No, there
hide
isn't.
like hide your work or peek back. Like
There's a
don't.
reason why Wes and
Mm,
Nehemiah, immediately when they finished, removed all the things so nobody else would look.
yeah,
Because they knew it wasn't against the rules.
and if the challenge intends for there not to be cheating, they make sure that they can't cheat. Like if the challenge intends for there to not, like producers intend for people to not be able to see each other, like they make that very clear and obvious.
Yeah, they
Um,
would like put them in their own like boxes.
yeah, like this is not that case. Like they are right next to each other, basically. Uh,
Yeah. And if she cheated off you and somehow finished before you,
she still did it.
yeah, it's like then if your answer was technically right, then why didn't you finish right after her?
Mm. Yeah, Naya was way too self righteous about this.
Yeah, and like I don't know, maybe she was just like still upset over like quitting, and Jordan she's just like taking it out on Kayla.
Yeah, she's mad she came in last. Like
Yeah,
don't be bitter, be better. And cheating off of a puzzle is totally fair game. Tina
yeah.
Wesson in Survivor Blood versus Water got back in from Redemption Island because she cheated. Like
Okay, she didn't cheat. Laura just literally told her what the answer was.
yes, but like that is the mentality you should have. It's like I am the only player that matters right now when I'm trying to compete. Like I don't care whether I'm like respecting your fairness of answers, especially
Your idea
in
of
puzzles.
fairness.
Of puzzles, when it comes to puzzles, like this isn't about
Yeah,
like elbowing and injuring each other. This is like giving the right answer. There's nothing wrong with this. Absolutely nothing.
yeah. If anyone, I'm pretty sure. Have I done? I don't think I have, but I feel like if I ever do something like that and somebody says you're cheating, stop looking at my answer. I'm saying there's no rule against it. It's not cheating.
Yeah,
So
we're in the
nobody
rules.
cheated. Kayla didn't cheat on the challenge.
Nope.
John A didn't cheat on her husband. No
To bring
cheating
that
happened.
back, just
Just to bring that back. I mean, we're talking about cheating, and that was a big story.
yeah.
And
So
then everybody parties except Wes. He's been mentally preparing for this since 4 days ago.
he's getting sleep. He's not drinking.
Yep, he's eating bread while everybody else is skinny dipping.
Although he totally was walking through the kitchen in one of those scenes and was just eating potato chips. So I'm like, okay, because he was carbo loading.
Yeah,
Okay, potato
straight from.
chips are the thing to do. I don't know. I've never
I
really
know.
prepared for a big race. Uh,
I know. It sounds like a straight thing.
yeah, supposedly you're supposed to eat a lot of carbs a couple days ahead of time. Sounds
Yeah,
good. Sounds like
yeah,
a
and
fun
you know
time.
he was walking around just like showing himself off.
Yeah. Uh,
He quickly mentions his. He and Kellyanne quickly bring up their relationship with the fact that they
mhm.
dated 10 years ago.
And he's really proud of
Proud.
seeing her in the
Yeah.
final and being
Um.
there with her.
Yeah. Kellyanne gives Mark a deep massage.
Yeah, it's a interesting imagery there.
Yeah. And then they fly to a private island.
Yeah, I think I missed that. I missed where they were going,
I think it was like San Jose,
but they're still in
San Tropez.
Panama or something, right? They're still in the same country.
Yeah, still in the same country. They're still in South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, South
Um,
America. Great music. They always have amazing music playing throughout the season.
mhm.
And I swear, the amount of songs I've heard, it's like, oh, I heard this via lip sync on Drag Race.
Yes, yes. But I think once again we get a montage about why everyone's competing.
Yes, family, money, wedding,
Yeah, yeah. There's been a lot of
pride.
this. A lot of this. Like a little heavy-handed on that, but okay, whatever. We get
Yeah.
to the final. Everyone's there,
Yeah.
and we find
Janae
out
has made every final in All Stars.
she has Johnny.
Yeah,
Awesome, top tier
yeah.
competitor, face
She's
of All Stars. She's the
face
face of
of.
All Stars.
She is the face of All Stars.
Um, so from the last challenge, the order you finish the memory challenge is the order you start the final.
Yeah. So Wes and Janae, Nehemiah and Kayla, Mark and Kellyanne, and then Brad and Naya. And then we find out what the Oh yeah, before we get to stars, the final. It's pretty much your partners for the running portion, and then when you get to a stage, it's all individual. And then depending
Mhm.
on where you finish, you will get points and then a new partner for the next running portion.
Yeah,
Most points wins.
so each checkpoint,
Is worth
um,
5 points.
the checkpoints themselves are individual, but the getting to the checkpoints is in partners, and those partners are not rotated fairly necessarily. They're rotated
No,
based on on how you finish at the checkpoint.
checkpoint. Yeah. And then getting to each checkpoint, if you're there first, you get 4, second 3, 2, third 2, 1, so on. And then when you finish the checkpoint, you get 5 points. Most points wins. Most guys for the girls, most points for the girls.
Yeah. Oh,
Guys,
we almost forgot one of the most shocking things of the episode leading up to this final.
what?
Did John A shit in a bag on the plane?
I think she peed in a bag.
Always know. Always, we see her coming out from behind a corner on this plane with a bag and being like, "When you have to go, you have to go." And I'm like, "What did she do in the bag?"
Okay,
Like,
I think she just peed. I think she just peed. There's no way she'd like poop on a plane in a bag, that small of a bag, and just do it behind like a chair and a camera
I don't,
person.
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. There was not confirmation if it was number one or two.
I don't think we need to know. Oh.
Okay, sorry. Just need to set that context out there because
Yeah. So John A might have pissed in a bag
or
right before
shit
the.
or shash in it.
Yeah. So we find out what the stars are.
Yes, the
Nehemiah,
stars.
yeah, the stars. So Nehemiah and John A both have 5 stars, and with the most stars, their advantage is they start off with 5 points. Now, is
Mm-hmm.
it 5 points because they have 5 stars?
No, I think they each would have got 5 stars regardless, as long as they had the most stars.
Okay, and all the other stars mean nothing.
Yep. Um.
You're... So Naya, that star you earned from Sylvia, pointless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah. So, what do you think about this as the star payoff?
I mean, like I said, any advantage in a final is good. Um,
Yeah, but like as a
but
game
as we
mechanic, like
But as
reward.
we see, it kind of becomes a little pointless. It might help like near the end where it's like, oh, if I just had more stars than John A, who won by 1 point, one of those extra points being. It depends on what the end result is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think an
To some
advantage.
degree.
I think depending on if you get the most stars, you get to skip a checkpoint. Like if there's one, I think that
Ooh.
would be like a huge advantage. Or like um you get like instead of like a point advantage, you get like advantage in a checkpoint or in a transition. Like you get to pick who your partner is at some point. Like switch. Like if I'm partnered with Mark and we're running, and I know he's not a good runner, say, hey, I'm going to use my advantage and take Wes.
Yeah. I'm okay with the point amount. I'm okay with the advantage itself. It's not that much overall. Like you're not going to win the challenge if you don't win
It's still
multiple portions. You
possible.
still have to
Yeah,
win a lot of portions of the final in order to come out on top, even if you get this advantage. I think the thing that would break it if it was like 20 points and then it's like no one can catch them even if they come in last every time. So I'm okay with the amount of the advantage for the most part. Maybe it could have been a little bit more. Um, the only thing is like it really favors those who were in elimination the whole time and not those who were winning challenges the whole
yeah.
time.
Like Kayla has the most challenge wins and gets nothing for it other than a target.
Yeah. So that's a little weird and wonky. But it ends up being, I think, inconsequential enough. I'm not upset about any of it.
Yeah, and to be fair, like it really did depend on that final elimination because Nehemiah was never in an elimination until that one episode and just stole all of Derek's stars.
Yeah, totally.
So we start off the final with running to a box and getting keys.
Yeah, they have to run. So that same, it was totally the same runway that the last final was at. It seems like the same spot.
I
Doesn't
think
it?
it's a
Is it a
different
different
one.
country? Are they in a different country than last season?
Yeah,
No,
because I think last season they were. Hold on.
or
Wiki.
I think this might be the same one. It looked like the same runway.
Okay. Time to go to Wikipedia to see where last season was filmed.
Okay, so that was in Cancun last season.
Mexico. So it's still in South America. I think it's a different runway. I think all runways just kind of look the same.
And this is in Panama. Okay, so it is a different runway.
Yeah, I think again it just looks the same.
I guess they just like these really like janky small runways
Yeah.
to
I
do
mean,
challenges.
how many private islands are they filming finals on?
I don't know. But so they run down the whole runway though, which has to be a pretty long distance, and they leave. Each pair leaves in 30-second increments.
Yeah.
So Wes and Johnny have a 2-minute head start on Brad and Naya, which is significant.
Yeah, especially for like a running runway. Everybody's dying of the heat the second they get off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's very humid.
And hot.
Yes. Humidity is not good. So they get to the first checkpoint, and it's a kayak puzzle challenge. Solve a puzzle, then row your kayak out, round a buoy, then back. First one back gets 5 points. So the first one is Brad and Wes versus Mark and Brad versus Wes, Mark versus Nehemiah, and then John A versus Naya, and Kayla versus Kellyanne.
Yeah, in this first checkpoint, they all finished in the same order they started in. So no change in placement there at all.
No, didn't Naya win against John A?
No, I mean getting to the checkpoint.
Oh yeah, they all finished the same place. I think in all the running segments they finish the same order.
No, other ones because the second round they start all together, so there's some mixing.
They start together.
Yeah, so the first checkpoint challenge.
Yes.
You have to unlock planks, build a raft, paddle around a buoy, and the first to get back between the
pairs get 5 points.
Yeah.
So Wes wins his match against Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Although Nehemiah was the very first one back, and Wes was just like surprised, like, how's Nehemiah doing so good, treating this like
they had a single paddle.
It was a single paddle.
But he was paddling it like it was a double-sided oar.
Yeah, I guess it's still working away. Like even that little bit of force just helped, rather than constantly going like this.
I bet it has more to do with
like
the ability
type thing.
Less to do with what was going on the side, and more to do with being able to just keep moving, keeping the momentum going more consistently.
Yeah.
Versus like one side, you're only moving one side, and like you have more time out of the water, or you're switching back and forth, and so that's like killing some time. So maybe that, I don't know, that I haven't seen that technique before.
I mean, good on Nehemiah.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, Naya is just like coming in from behind and taking the lead.
Yeah, Naya beats John A.
Yeah, and then Kellyanne is just lying there having a tan, since she knows Kayla is beating her regardless, so she's going to save energy.
She lets herself get rescued from the water because she doesn't want to waste any energy. And I'm like, yeah,
smart.
Absolutely. Kellyanne does not give a fuck, and I love that. I love that so much. Like, great moment from Kellyanne.
Yeah, I'm so happy she made it. We get to see her
meter is low.
Very low. It's pretty much at the bottom. It's broken at this point.
Yes.
So more running. Actually, running that leads to bikes, tandem bikes. I like how Wes is just like making a final analogy to like relationships. Like his partners are going to feel like they're married to him. He's on like the weirdest date with Kayla on this bike.
Yes. So first male and female to finish are the new pairs.
Yes. So that would
So
be
Naya and Nehemiah,
Nia, Nehemiah, Wes and Kayla,
Mark and Janae,
Mark and John A, Brad and
Kellyanne.
Kellyanne.
Yep.
Yes. And Mark is not having any looks with these bikes, just like season one bikes,
Yeah, the
because
pedal fell off in season 1.
the chain broke in season two. He's a very big guy.
Yeah, well, and these bikes are
Very flimsy.
not meant for off-road like this. Like these are not like bikes that are meant to be uh ridden on off trail. These tandem bikes, all tandem bikes are meant to be on pavement. Gently
Yeah,
and on pavement.
yeah. There's a reason why they're romantic bikes. I mean, I can't ride a bike, period. So
Yeah, so the challenge does not spare all expense on getting them the finest bicycles for the final. They just have to deal with it when it breaks.
yeah. At least they weren't like chained together like the season one bikes.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's such a. I think there's just going to be enough going on in this challenge. It's not going to matter anyway. Like it ended up getting Mark and Jeanne last place to the second checkpoint, which Mark is not doing great with the points. But this is not the make or break. This one piece is not the make or break. Everything added up, that might be.
Yes. So they cycle to the second checkpoint, which is another memory challenge. Kayla is just crying on the ground somewhere.
Yeah, and Wes and Kayla end up getting there first. I think which is mostly notable because Wes is killing it in the point
Yeah,
department.
he's gotten first every time.
Yep.
In his heats and his checkpoints.
Yeah, so going so let's talk about second checkpoint.
So the second checkpoint is another memory challenge. They're given 4 rows of stars, and they have to they have to run a distance to a placard with other stars, but 1 star on each row is different than the rest. And they have to figure that out, and then that placement will be a code to a box.
Yeah, and they just have to find the one on each row that doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Get a code.
And
so
then,
really, they only have to find 3 because if it's a 4-digit code, you only need 3, and then
you can
just
pretty much guess.
cycle through the rest.
Yeah, everybody has different strategies. Brad's favorite color is green, apparently, so he's just going to focus on where the green is and everything.
Someone else picks just the bottom point of the star and remembers those.
Yeah, that was Naya.
It seemed like a short run, but you know, this is one of those where if you're not, this seems like one of the easier versions of this. Like I feel like the ones where you have to fill up a board, those are ridiculous. This is not as bad, I don't think.
Yeah, and this is one where you're kind of hoping, like, if you're not good at memory, Kayla, and your person you kind of hope, okay, please let the other person finish quickly and one person take forever, so I can rest up a bit.
Yeah. So we have Kellyanne versus Naya.
Naya wins.
Yeah, surprises Kellyanne. And us. I think like Naya's killing it as well.
This is the second checkpoint Naya's come first in.
Yeah.
Like she already has 10 points. John A wins against Kayla, which was obvious.
Especially from someone who really didn't do well in the dailies overall this season.
Yeah, and she started off the final in last place.
Yeah. Then Kayla versus John A.
John A wins, obviously, because Kayla's not good at memory. It's not that she's not smart; she just can't remember shit.
This is John A's wheelhouse. Like this is the one out of anyone in this cast, I'd be like, John A is going to be the memory, like going to win this portion of it.
Yes. Then the guys, Wes wins his match again, and then Mark
versus Mark,
and then Brad wins his against Nehemiah, which seemed kind of close.
So interesting part I just wasn't able to track as well is they get to self-select their partners to a degree. So if you're first, you just show up and you stand on your platform. If you're second, you can either pick the person who's already there or stand on the other platform. And if you do that, then the person who comes next gets the decision to decide who they want to face off against. So there's almost a weird decision based on your placement of getting to the checkpoints that adds a certain aspect of randomness and strategy. I wasn't able to keep track of who all was deciding who out of each pair picked the pair.
The only thing I remember is Wes picking the ginger color because he's a ginger.
Well, Mark did not pick Wes because Mark got there last. So I
Yes.
think no one wanted to face off on Wes. That's and Westwood got there first. So yeah, definitely no everyone passed on Wes in this section.
Yeah, everyone's just like, nope. And that's where the final ends. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
where this part of the final
Wes
ends.
finishes first, Nia finishes second. And then we have new pairs. So it's Wes and Nia, Mark and Kellyanne, Brad and Jeanne,
Again.
and Nehemiah and
Kayla
racing to do some tandem kayaking, and that's where they left us a cliffhanger.
Yep. And we see clips of next episode. Mark, I think, is on the ground in pain. They'll have to do an eating challenge, which is not looking fun
Looks like
to
a
watch.
huge plate of some gnarly meat.
I hope nobody's vegetarian.
Meat things. It's going to be an overnight portion, which we love an overnight portion in the final.
Do we?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like
some are better than others.
Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be another segment on like, I need to win this final for like, have to win for my family, have to win for my wedding.
I think the best ones are when it's pretty easy to mess up something, and then it's partners, and then like the partners get mad at each other like that. I feel like that's the ideal overnight. Like you want to cause a little bitter infighting somehow.
Yeah, but so far that has I might be misremembering things, but I'm pretty sure every overnight section nobody's failed it. Like there's never been one thing in any of the challenge seasons where
no, there definitely has. I can't remember the season, but there's definitely been one or two where someone like fails the task and got a 10-minute penalty or something like that.
I don't think there has been.
No, there totally has. I'm not gonna be able to remember it, but there has. Like someone can comment if they remember it or something, but like I don't remember myself.
I really don't think there's been one.
I don't remember what the task was even. It might have, because it wasn't one where you're just standing up. It was like
that's usually what the overnight ones are, though.
The boring ones. There's been better ones than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been the ones on the exercise bikes, but that was individual. That was free agents.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go over the scores and where we're leaving things?
Yes.
Okay, so for the women, Jeanne is in the lead with 15 points.
Good thing she got the extra 5 points, or else she'd be tied with Nia.
If she didn't have the extra 5 points, she would be in third place. So the 5 points so far has kept her above. Nia has 13.
Oh, that's Nia.
Kayla has 12, and Kellyanne has 5.
Wow, that's a big difference.
But even if Jeanne did not have the 5 points, she would still be in it. She'd be 3 points behind Nia.
Yeah.
And so in this case, like the 5 points really doesn't make all the difference. I think, that kind of shows it there. And then for the men, Wes is in first place with 18 points. So he overtook Nehemiah, who has 15 points. And then Brad has 9. And Mark has 3. I think Wes has gotten every point available to him.
Yes, he's gotten the max points all the time, except for like the bonus 5 at the with the stars.
Yeah, so Wes is running a perfect final to this point.
Yeah, he has 18 out of 18 points.
But Nehemiah is still in there. Brad is 9 points behind Wes, but like you can make up 9 points pretty easy.
Yeah, all you have to do
if you win 2 checkpoints.
No, even win 1 checkpoint.
Yeah, you make it up fast. So I think Mark with 3 points versus Wes's 18. That's not looking good.
But Kellyanne's 3 to Jeanne's 15.
Difference of Kellyanne's 10 points behind versus Mark is 15 points behind.
Yeah, so Kellyanne only has to win like a checkpoint or 2 and maybe come first in a running. And while Mark, I think, has like come first in like a lot of things.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Who do you think's winning, and what do you think's happening in the? We have next week is the rest of the final, the end of the season.
Maybe a reunion.
Maybe we don't know yet.
We don't know.
I don't know that we will even until the week after. Sometimes they don't even preview it, but maybe they do. Maybe they will.
Well, we never really cover the reunion because nothing much ever happens.
No. Just people like trying to, grab their last minute of fame.
Yeah. I think West. I really don't see a world where West does not win this final. It's not just the fact that he's so far ahead. It's also the fact like, what is West bad at other than being humble?
I could see Brad or Nehemiah coming into something. It depends on the challenges. I could see Wes getting stuck on something, getting stuck on an eating portion. I don't know. He's not. Wes is not a perfect final runner by any means.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of his final win ratio. I know he has 2.
He has 3 finals he did not win.
Rivals 1.
Oh, and also and
the All-Stars
two champs versus champs seasons.
Okay.
So
I know he didn't
5 finals he has not won.
Okay, so he didn't win Rivals 1. That's because he had like a weird injury or like infection in his ankle or foot. He didn't win War of the Worlds 1 because that season was kind of rigged for a newbie to win. And what's the 3rd final he was in?
Fresh Meat.
Oh yeah, his very first final. Well, that's because he was partnered with Casey. So I don't want to say none really his fault. Maybe the Vendettas one. Why do I keep saying Vendettas? War of the Worlds 1, I can see it. But he's beaten Brad before in a final. In the duel.
Mm-hmm.
And Nehemiah's final win was only because of technicality, and Mark's really old. Nehemiah, I can definitely see making a comeback.
I would not write off I would not write off Nehemiah or Brad completely. I do, if I had to put my money on someone, I'm putting it on Wes. I kind of hope it's Wes, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of rooting for him at this point.
It would be
it would be really cool to see him win a season after so long. It's been a while since he's won one. And
then it kind of like stick it in Yes's face, being like, evil has prevailed.
Yeah, like Wes is it'd be cool to like see him actually run a perfect final. Like it'd be cool if he does that. Like that'd be amazing to see him never lose a single portion of it. And he's on track to maybe do that, maybe.
Yeah. For the women, it's very up in the air between all 4 of them.
Yeah. I think like, Jonna has the experience here. If I have to put money on him, I'm probably putting it on Jonna.
She's not the best in those running portions, though.
But Kayla is a freaking beast, and Naya's been surprising. So I don't know.
Yeah, Kellyanne is also, even though Kellyanne's at the bottom, she's been doing decently well. Like
Kellyanne knows what she's doing. Like she's has her game face on, and she easily could pull it through.
Yeah, if there's like any weird, like she could do well in the eating challenge for all we know. She's into weird stuff.
Yeah. Chocolate enemas.
No, I think she like.
Is there going to be a chocolate enema portion of the final?
Maybe that's it's hidden between the bowl of disgusting meat. They have to try and find the chocolate enema.
Maybe that's what Jonna was doing on the plane.
She was having a chocolate enema.
Yeah, your typical pre-final enema.
As one does. That's how she won season 2.
Oh gosh, the secrets. We see this. We need this to come up in the reunion show. The
Yeah,
real. These are the real questions we need answered. We don't care about the challenge itself. We need to know about the chocolate enema habits. We need to know what's happened on that plane.
yeah. Did Johnny actually cheat on her husband?
Yes, we need to know those things.
I thought you were
Most of
saying
all,
yes, she did.
I don't know. Probably not. But
Yeah. Before we end, let's take a quick look at our draft. There's
yeah, I
not
guess
really
we're.
much changes, but looking at the draft, we can now cross out Veronica's because of a toe, and Derek
Not good
because
for
you got
me.
him. You only have John A.
Okay, well, it's got to be Jean A then.
I still have Wes, Nehemiah, Mark, Kellyanne, and Kayla. So 5 out of the 8 people are my picks.
How did my
And
draft go so poorly?
injuries.
Yeah, and Jemmy and Tina. I lost Jemmy. That hurts.
Yeah, like literally, Veronica, Tina, and kind of Darrell in that elimination went home for medical reasons. Jemmy went home for family reasons. Beth was chaos.
Beth is
Yeah.
Beth is not there to get to a final.
Yeah. MJ was injured the whole season but did not go home for some reason.
Yeah, I mean MJ is still he's still a decent pick, I think, but yeah, just injury is not good for
Yeah.
that.
And the audience still has Naya, who's been doing well
And
this month.
Brad. I
No,
mean the
you have.
audience could no
Oh, yeah,
audience is Brad.
audience up.
Audience
I
could
forget
clinch
Brad's
it
there.
with if Naya and Brad wins it. I can't clinch it. I can only get a half win at this point. But that's okay. I'll take a half win. That seems to be how the world works these days.
Yeah, so I think that's everything we covered. We should be back next week to cover the rest of the final, and we'll probably talk more about future All Stars things, what we want to see again, what we don't want to see,
Yeah, we might wrap
future
up like
players.
the first. We've seen the first 3 seasons of All Stars now. They have not renewed it for the next one, and it would be
Yeah,
kind of fun to take a little retrospective on these 3 seasons as a whole, and kind of see like, okay, where does All Stars go from here?
yeah. And we might talk about future challenge stuff. Will we cover 38 if that ever comes out? Will we continue doing All Stars? If you want to know the answer to these questions, you'll have to watch us next week. So thanks, Nathan, as usual, for joining me. And thanks, everyone, for watching. If you want to watch more live reality game show podcast stuff, follow the YouTube channel, follow the socials. If you want to know things about the Challenge USA, CBS The Challenge, um, other live reality game people are hosting that. Clark and Bossa Candy. They have done their cast assessments. That's on the YouTube or Facebook somewhere, so go check them out. And we'll see you for more MTV's The Challenge All Stars 3 content. Ah. I pressed the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm like, we're still live.